Alright, so welcome everybody. Today's issue or episode is going to be on the Xbox Elite controller and how to configure slash set it up. So as you can see, my two main right now that I've got set up are one for sniping and one for aggressive. I haven't really drilled into the aggressive settings too much as I've actually been trying to do the Martini Henry um, challenge on Battlefield 1. I've been sticking with my snipe settings. Let me start there real quick for you guys. Let's go here to edit. Of course, my screen's almost completely blacked out. I love when that happens. But button mapping, probably the first and easiest thing to start off with is how do you want your layout of your Xbox Elite controller to be. Currently, as far as the physical properties of my Xbox Elite controller go, for the thumbsticks, I have the default thumbstick that it comes with on the left thumbstick to control my character. And then for the right or aiming thumbstick, I have the middle control thumbstick, or the middle height, or what they would refer to as the PlayStation style satellite thumbstick. I like that because it's not so tall that it's cumbersome for my thumb still to move around and do what I need to do, but it is long enough to kind of give me that edge on those long-range sniping adjustments that I need to make on the fly. So as far as the buttons go, you have your typical A, B, X, Y, and what I'm trying to do is retrain my brain to not even touch any of those buttons ever. I'm actually trying to switch off to the paddle, which are not that bad. They're actually the response time on them is amazing. Absolutely, hands down, quicker than any button you'll ever press. So that's why I really want to switch over to paddles. Currently, I'm trying to train my brain so that the upper left, upper right, lower left, and lower right are going to be synonymous with your X, Y, A, B. So upper left, X, upper right, Y. Lower left and lower right is going to be A and B respective. That's just where I'm starting right now. I will probably suggest that, like, let's say, I found a few times that when I'm doing my sniper deal in game, it might actually be something I switch off to later as far as another profile. So let me back up over here, like another profile down below here, because you can actually add as many configurations as you want. I might add another one where the paddles are actually more like D-pad controls, allowing me to switch off to flares a little bit quicker. But that's gonna rely on how quickly my brain can readjust to using paddles and not relying on the button configuration that I've grown up with. Been gaming since probably since most of you guys were even thought in your daddy's eye, but at the same time, I've gotten pretty set in my ways, and I'm trying to break those. See what I can do with that. As far as other settings that I have not set in, the left thumbstick, I actually decided to go with an aggressive. I was playing actually with the defaults, and all that does is, as you can see, this blue line over here. Where the blue is where my thumb is as far as moving the joystick. Whereas on the aggressive, where the white is where my thumb is, and where the blue is the actual gameplay. So as you can see, even though I'm only moving so much, I'm going to move a lot more in the game. Just something that you want to keep in mind. You can also fine tune it down below here. So if you don't like it going so far out so fast, you can turn it down a little bit and do that. You can use radical adjustments. Makes it even more fine tuned. Or radial calculation, I'm sorry. There you go. The right thumbstick, definitely want that aggressive. I want to be able to move pretty quickly. I want to be able to adjust on my snipe long range. Right now I'm barely moving my finger. I don't know if you guys can see this, but if I just do this, just a little bit of motion on that thumbstick, it gets a lot of play up on the screen. Triggers. This is a big one for me. So as you can see, the trigger pull on my left is a little bit longer. I wanted a little bit more of the play on the trigger here, but I eliminated the dead zone completely. So I barely have to touch the trigger, and it's completely pulled down. Now on the right one, I wanted a hair trigger. I mean, I wanted that thing to be, look at this. It's, you just touch it. You think about pulling the trigger, and your trigger's pulled. You get right up on that. Like, I mean, it's disgusting. It's just wrong. I've heard of some people going 0 and 1, and it's just like, why? You know, 0.5, that's fine. 0.17, that's fine. It's fast as hell. It's an instant snap up. It's pretty much a hair trigger. And because of that, I did, on the bottom here, you have these little switches that you can click up and down. If it's up, you know, you got the long, full trigger pull right here. But if you put it down, you got a half trigger pull as it is. And then again, you can take away even more of the dead zone on the half trigger pull and make it a hair trigger. Highly advised. Highly advised. Vibration. I don't know about you guys, I just don't want to be distracted by vibrations on my controller all the time. So I actually pretty much all but eliminated both left and right trigger vibrations. I do want to know that I pulled the trigger. But other than that, I don't need to have my fingers vibrating. I'm not into that kind of thing. Also, the left and right, I only turned it down just enough so that if someone's throwing grenades around me, if tanks rumbling by or something like that, and I don't have a headset in, I can at least feel it in my hands or something like that, give myself a little bit more spatial awareness. Other than that, I mean, those are your basic settings that you're going to really want to mess with. I really find that the button mapping is the button mapping and your trigger mapping is the winner. I will say it is extremely impressive to me though that you can do both left and right triggers. You can do both left and right thumbsticks and right, completely different from one another. But most importantly, that you can actually have multiple configurations at one time. So as you can see, I have two. And in case you're unfamiliar with the Xbox Elite controller, and you may be watching this to find out if it's something you want to invest in, $150, definitely an investment, not a willy-nilly kind of spend unless you got it like that. That's good for you. But right here you have the switch to go from 1 or 2. Funny part is I actually set my snipe setting and I was really pissed off with my hair triggers not being hair triggers, and then I realized, oh yeah, it's because I'm rocking the aggressive one, not the snipe. So as you can see, my aggressive is pretty much all defaulted. It does have the hair triggers, but it's also back to the AoE buttons. And the reason why I call it aggressive is because when I get aggressive in a game, I don't want to think. Right now when I'm sniping, I'm still thinking, alright, which battle does what am I doing? How does this work again? Who am I? But when I'm getting aggressive in a game, I just want to go balls to the wall, shooting as quickly as possible and getting that ADS up as fast as I possibly can, and making sure that I have the lead or any kind of advantage I can, especially spending $150. So I've been playing a lot of Battlefield 1 with this, and I've actually seen that it is coming a lot of handy. As far as actual different games though, let's see. I guess we can go all the way down. Anyway, as far as actual games go, I'd stick to first-person shooters really. I hear it's great for racing games. I mean, I guess you got paddles for paddle shifting, but honestly, as you can see, pretty much everything I own is first-person shooter only. You know, that's where I live, and I find that this controller is going to be fantastic for each one. If you'd like, I can do a how-to set or different settings for each game. I plan on actually setting different profiles for each game, so I'll probably have 2 each. So that way, while I'm in game, I can actually swap off. Call of Duty Black Ops 3 was probably the most anticipated game I have as far as playing with this controller, only because of that hair trigger ADS quick snap. I feel like all the perks in the world can help you out, but it's if you're pulling that trigger, 5 times longer than anybody else, then you're still gonna lose. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop a line, drop a like, drop a subscribe, hit us up anytime. We're here to help out with whatever we can, give the content that the viewers would like. as well as just have fun while we're gaming. I feel like a lot of people forget that games are not meant to be taken serious. It's not a job. No one's sponsoring you right now, and if they are, well, they're sponsoring you to have fun. Remember that. Okay, so go out there, have fun, be stupid. As our snowboarders will tell you, stay weird. All right, have a good one.